Wednesday, August the 21st, and I'm waiting for Larry. He has a special guest joining us, and he is supposed to be bringing him on. And I talked to Larry on the phone 3 minutes ago, and I sent him the link, and he was looking for it. So he said he would call his guest and walk the guest through getting on the show. So this is, hey, I'm live. What's up? All right, just a second. I'm going to invite you a second time. Let me double check what I sent you. Hang on. We're doing this live, folks. Sorry about that. To Ernie, that's StreamYard. Why? Oh, I left out a letter. Okay. Hang on. I will. Okay, that's what I get for not using my glasses properly. All right. Sorry, folks. I smashed my finger just before time to come on. And that's no excuse, I know, but it does have me a little discombobulated. So, okay. So let me get the other one. Correct link is sorry, folks. Sorry, but we'll get this. Correct link is, come on, let's do paste. There we go. This is not, I am trying to hurry, and you know what happens when you try to hurry. Nothing goes right. So, Larry's with us. Somebody's with us. All right. Gotcha, Larry. I just sent it to the path. No, that's wrong.
Oh, no.
Hang on. Correct. I'm just going to type the whole thing out. So I told folks today is August 21st. It's Wednesday. And okay. Let me double check that I did the right thing, because I gave, yeah, I did. All right, so he's got the right one.
All right. Now you need to call probably on his phone with your other phone and tell him what happened, so he's not sitting there thinking he did wrong. I'm sure he's chasing down that other thing. All right, folks, while she's doing that, I hope we get Pastor Sanders. The intent was today to have him on, but you got to remember, every time we try to do something new, sometimes we blow it the first time.
Or second.
But today is Wednesday. And I had several conversations since we talked yesterday with people that are in the know, people that are participating in a lot of what's going on.
The last link I sent you is correct.
And let me tell you, folks, it's getting interesting. There is much coming in the way of the Comey and the Comey coup. I'm sorry, when she was talking, it kind of breaks my.
No. I take care of that. So, yeah.
Let me let her get through talking, because it messes me up, folks. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Kathy's with him, and that was confusing. So,
all right, you're back now. as I was saying, I've talked to several people, and it's getting interesting. The situation with Comey, we're getting close. We're getting closer to something happening in that direction that I think will please most all of you. But sometimes I wonder and worry if I confuse you a little bit, or maybe a lot. Sometimes I confuse myself. But the object is not to get James Comey. It's not. The object is to get every single participant in the coup attempt, all of them, and prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law, because it's got to be done. It's got to be done in the interest of, for no other reason, to try to stop it from ever happening again. And it will happen again if it's not exposed fully and severe penalty placed on the people that were involved. I can tell you today with certainty, not my opinion, this is with certainty. Are you listening? The coup started, I don't know whose brainchild it was, I can't say that. But once the coup started, once they started trying to put all of this stuff together to stop Trump before he ever even got elected, to rig the election, Obama signed off on it, was involved. Biden signed off on it and was involved. So were Obama's top people in his administration, his immediate people in his administration. I can't remember their names, but they're all in it. This goes to Hillary. It does. She's in it.
And she's in it without immunity, right?
She's in it at present with immunity in certain things, not in all things. And I believe, this is my belief at this point, this is not, I guarantee you, I know, this is my opinion, my belief, that as Barr and Durham reconstruct the genesis of this effort, which turned out to be an all-out soft coup, there may indeed be a problem with the perpetuity immunity given to Hillary by Comey.
Really?
She may not be free of all of this. Last night, something kept running through my head until this morning, and I finally asked for it to be looked into. But you see, if James Comey was involved in a criminal operation, if he were involved in an illegal operation, which he was, then he would not necessarily be able to issue any type of immunity to others that were involved in the same crime. Do you understand what I'm telling you?
The same crime as he's involved in.
Yes. So it stands to reason, you see, that if Comey was a part, quote unquote, of this at that time, trying to rig the election and bring a felonious action against staff people for Trump. He was breaking the law. And so therefore it could be construed that since he was breaking the law, what right would he have to give immunity to Hillary and her people, other than, especially when you consider he might have been granting that immunity to protect himself. And there's the kicker. Did Comey give Hillary all of these immunities in perpetuity to protect and cover up for himself? Did he? That's the question. And I think if Barr and Mueller look into that, I think they're going to find.
You mean Barr and Durham?
Not Durham. I think they're going to find that it was illegal for Comey to grant immunity plea or immunity deals with Hillary, since he and she were involved in the same felonious operation, same crime, essentially. So take heart, folks. Hillary ain't walking away from this yet. And she will never walk away from it as long as I'm alive and can't do anything about it. So now, have you...
The question before you go on, when will this hit the fan?
When will this hit the fan? Yeah. Folks, it's already hit the fan. Now, if you're asking when will this be known in the media, when will this be going to court, I cannot answer that. I can't. I mean, I can, but I'm not allowed to. So I'm telling you, it is coming. You can rest easy. It is coming. But again, I caution all of you, remember. Bringing the charges can be done. Prosecuting them can be done. But putting them in jail has to go through the court system, and that's what's slowing the operation down. But it will be handled. I assure you, it will be handled. I just want all of you to know today, these people are going to be prosecuted. They're going to be. Now, let me clarify that. Obama knew about it, signed off on it. Biden knew about it, signed off on it. In Obama's case, he may have been the one that ordered it done. I can't tell you that because no one knows whether he was the one that ordered it done. But he did sign off on it. Clapper and Brennan refused to conduct a counterintelligence operation unless he did in writing. He did, it's in writing, Barr has it. Now, then you have to ask me the question, well, will Obama and Biden go to jail? That I don't know. I do not know if they will ever see the inside of a cell. But I can assure you they will be prosecuted. They will. And the truth will be out about them. And now let's go to Brenner and Clapper, Comey, Brock, Page. Mm-hmm. The cast of characters just keeps going and going and going. Those people, I tell you today, they are jail-bound. They're on their way to jail. With the only way any of them may avoid jail time would be two reasons. Number one, because of the sensitive nature of the job they had. So, for example, if somebody's the head of the CIA, it might not be possible due to the intelligence and the secrets that person knows to incarcerate them. Certainly not in the general prison population. So there is a chance Brennan and Clapper, because of the sensitivity of their jobs at the time with security issues, might technically prevent them from literally going to jail. But they will be prosecuted. They will. Now that's number one, because of the sensitivity of where they worked. Can't let out secrets. The second reason that they might not, some of that crew might not go to jail, depends directly on them. We're at a moment in time right now where if I were Page, if I were Brock or whatever his name is, Clapper, Brennan,
Peter Strzok.
Strzok. Yeah, I can't ever remember his name. If I were Strzok, if I were Page, if I were Clapper, if I were Brennan, and the list goes on, I would be running, not walking. I would be running to offer up a plea deal in exchange for being able to stay out of jail.
Isn't that something Lisa Page has done?
We don't know about that.
I mean, with her testimony before.
No, you surely don't know about that.
I mean, I'm just thinking of, her testimony before Congress and them saying on the
testimony before Congress is not a plea deal.
Got it. So it's different. All right. Suppose, because we've been told she's cooperating, but.
So anyway, they are, less for those two reasons, going to jail. Now, did you ever get hold of Pastor? Why is he not with us?
I talked to Kathy, and they're not answering on the text. Just click on that link.
Well, we may have blown it today with him. Damn, I will be on Pastor Sanders' program Thursday night, tomorrow night. Good Lord willing, and I will be there with him. Now, what I'd like to devote the rest of the day to, because it always ends up, I feel like I leave somebody without answering their question. Let's say today is your day. Any of you that would like, get your questions in now while we have the time to address them fully. Now, there was one left over from last night, Mary Ellen, as I recall. Do you remember what it was, by chance?
No, sir, I don't. But here's a comment that's brilliant, Larry. It was illegal. I think we have to have patience. Why would Comey come out right before the election, exonerating her again and opening it up again? I guess that's 2016.
I know about a meeting, actually had proof of that meeting that, by the way, has been turned over. And in this meeting, Comey with Loretta Lynch, and with Hillary and various and sundry other staff people. And this meeting took place, Marilyn, you remember it took place after the first press conference he held, where he listed the things that she was doing. But right before the second press conference, when he said, no prosecutor would, even though she had done these things, no reasonable prosecutor would have brought charges or whatever he said. In that interim period, they had a meeting, and in this meeting, Hillary was livid, because she felt that Comey had cost her election. And in all candor, he may very well have done it. So they came up with a compromise. They felt it was actually the only thing they could do to try to cover it up, to fix that mistake. And that was to hold another press conference and announce they were not prosecuting her for those things. That's what happened. That's not my opinion. That's true. Proof. Got it. I know that one. What else you got, Marion?
Can military tribunals be used?
Can military tribunals do what?
Be used on Obama. A military tribunal, yeah. Can military tribunals be used for Obama and others?
All right. There is a way that, for example, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, Comey, and some of the others might be able to get that before a military tribunal. Maybe. It's being looked into. The reason it's being looked into is because of a technicality. I have already said no, and I mean no, they can't. But there is one technicality that may make what I have said come out a little bit wrong. Peter Strzok, Comey, Page, they were working for law enforcement with the federal government. And so since they were involved in law enforcement with the federal government, they took a similar, if not, I don't know their exact oath, but a similar oath, if not the same oath, that a military person takes. Because of that and that only, because of that and the fact that we may be dealing in the court of law, you and I know it as such, but in the court of law, it may be interpreted differently. But we may be dealing in treasonous activities to the country. So since they were law enforcement, since they were involved in law enforcement, taking the same oath, essentially, there is a chance, maybe 40% chance, maybe 50% chance, if need be, if it has to be done that way, they could maybe be brought before a military tribunal. Other than that, no. No.
What has been done to this country deserves severe punishment. I don't think anybody would disagree with that. Terry.
No. Let me address that just a moment.
And she's suggesting, and she's suggesting no deals.
About no deals, we need to entertain one or two people to make a deal. We need it. Simply to help move the case in a way where we can get more information. In any investigation by the police, by the FBI, by whomever, any investigation, when you're dealing with people that don't want you to know what they did, and they work actively, feverishly to cover it up, it's quite complicated sometimes to get all of the details. So what happens normally, prosecutors and attorney generals, they get They get a case that they think they can make, and they go forward with it. When they get that, they go forward. In this case, y'all, since it was a complex coup attempt, we need to know all of it. We don't need to just get, for example, Comey, prosecute him, and stop there. We need all the people, and we need all of the things that they were doing to try and pull it off. And only if we get those things are we in a position to say we can stop it from ever happening again. We got to know the finite details. And because of that, we should look at one or two people being granted a deal of sort. So I hope that explains that. But as far as punishment, we've done it. It would be right for God to punish us. It would. If this was about me and you, to be quite honest, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. This was about me and you. We are the generation. We are the generation that this happened during our watch. Rightly, wrongly, indifferently, whatever you want to say, it happened during my generation's watch. So therefore, nobody deserves any slack. We need to get what we deserve. And if it were about that, about me, about you, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. I'd just say, come on, get it on. Get it on. Get the punishment. Punish us. Slap us down, whatever. The problem is, what we have done will actually affect us minimally.
How's that?
It will. It'll affect us minimally. Now, 6 months to a year after the election of 2020, our world's going to change. Everything's going to be different. We're not going to like it. It's horrible. We will not like it. It will be a nightmare to us. But by the grace of God,
if Trump doesn't win,
most of us will not be living that long. We're in the latter stages of our lives, most baby boomers. Unfortunately, the people that will be punished, receive the most punishment, receive the longest sentence, be our children and grandchildren. And it's because of that I fight. It's because of them that I do what I do. Because they do not deserve to not have a future. Now, some of you are saying, well, but those millennials, they're crummy. They're our children, these millennials, and they're the ones pushing socialism. I know that. I do. But it was our responsibility to make sure when we sent them off to school that they learned. It was our responsibility to make sure that our children did not get brainwashed. And we failed. We failed. So punishment, yes. Punish us, not our kids and not our grandkids. Please. What else you got, Shannon?
do you have any fear that what happened to Epstein will happen to you from the same people?
I don't talk about that. It is one day they may try again, but I don't live a life of fear about it. I just don't have enough sense to, I guess. I'm not brave. I'm not saying, you know, like I'm macho brave. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just trying to tell you that what I have done, I have done. What I have already done and said, what I have already put in motion in ways and areas you guys know nothing of, seal my fate. And there's no reason to be afraid of that. As a matter of fact, there could be no greater gift than God could bless me with, other than my children and grandchildren. No greater gift could he bless me with than to lose my life trying to save this country. That, my friends, is a death worth having. Now, I don't wish for it. I don't want to die. I don't want to run out there. If I did, I'd just run, get in front of a Mack truck. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not in a hurry. We need to live for our country, not die for it. But I do want you to know that if the Grim Reaper comes, no greater gift could I be given than if I got to go out for that cause. What else, man?
Will the truth come out about whether Obama was born in the U.S. or Kenya?
No.
And
I
yesterday,
don't believe it will. I do not believe it will, my opinion. All right, go ahead.
yesterday you said if they prove that he was born in Kenya, it's not going to change because he was inaugurated, and so his presidency will stand.
Right.
Is public?
Yeah, and
Oh, go ahead.
well, whether he was from Kenya or not, whether he falsified documents to get to be president or not, he was president. It's done. He's not president now. And he should be and will be held accountable for the things he did to this country to harm it while he was president and before. So, and after, by the way. So there. What you got?
Are public hangings an option now?
I don't know. I don't know. So many states have reinstated the death penalty. But something that really gets me, and I'm sorry, this is another one of those things where I'm probably wrong in my attitude, but I find it incredibly wrong to me when some of these killers terrorize and slaughter innocent people in the most horrible, gruesome manner they can come up with. And then when we finally get to the position to put them to death through a long, drawn-out judicial process, appeal process, the whole 9 yards, when it does finally get through all of that, then we simply try to just put them to sleep so they don't hurt, so they don't suffer. Now, I would not let a dog or a cat suffer. That would kill me. A rat. I don't want a rat suffering. I don't want anything to suffer. Certainly not human beings, but these killers, the ones that went to extreme measures in killing people, I just don't think, and y'all can chat in and tell me what you believe, I just don't think it's right to let that person go out by just falling asleep. It seems to me they should get a dose of what they dealt innocent people. My opinion. What you got? I'd like to hear y'all's opinion on that.
Okay, we'll scroll down. Somebody said they need to be sent to Guantanamo.
Well, they need to be sent to hell.
Well, I think that's a done deal.
Well, that's another God thing that is tough for me. I understand what I'm saying is wrong, but you know, our God is a forgiving God. And as I understand it, even Hitler, right before he died, could have made his peace and asked for forgiveness. And would be blessed with the same heaven any good person would be blessed with. I'm not going to be one to tell God he's wrong. So I'm just not going to do it.
Well, Larry, God does say vengeance is mine and he will repay. And there are levels of reward and there are levels of justice even in heaven. So I think that's something we can safely leave in his hands. Leslie says, I heard Hillary is dead. Is that true? There are people who say that Hillary and Bill have died and these are doubles that we're seeing. Uh-oh, we lost his sound again. I wonder if Ernie is trying to call him. Let me text Larry. Lost your sound. Okay, he realized it. He's coming back in a minute. I've heard those comments that we're seeing doubles, and I mean, I've heard there's a double for a lot of these folks. So Larry would know more than I would. I certainly have no clue. And whether he is aware of all that, I'm not even sure. He's back. He almost came on video. Sorry, folks.
Yes, I'm back.
Yeah.
I'm back. And this has got to be
All
something to do with timing because it goes off about the same time, each program. Anyway, what I was saying, I don't know how much, what all did you hear?
I asked the question, is Hillary dead? And are we just seeing doubles of Bill and Hillary?
No, Hillary's not dead. Good God. No. Very much alive.
Do they use doubles for a lot of these leaders?
I would rather not do much talking about it, but I will say, at least as it relates to the president, they do have doubles. And I'm not too worried about saying that, in that, you know, they travel with 2 Air Force Ones. They travel with a series of presidential limousines so that, you know, terrorists can't figure out which one's real. And on occasion, they do use doubles.
Okay. Elizabeth says, in one generation, they brainwashed our children. Yes, that is. We now have the first complete generation that has been socially engineered or brainwashed. I don't know what happened to Ernie, Larry. He's not responding to text messages at all.
That's all right. We'll do it another day with him.
Yeah.
Don't worry. We'll figure, you know, it's our fault. We messed up all days to mess up. But anyway, we'll get with him.
You know, I'm sorry.
That's all right. It wasn't your fault. I mean,
well,
what else we got? What other question?
We didn't have time to try and practice anything. So, Cindy is saying he's a CIA plant. I don't know who he's talking about. Saying, who are you saying is a CIA plant? I don't know. Thank you Larry, for your steadfast dedication to the country and the truth. Who do you think will get the Democrat nomination?
At this point, I think the DNC is in a state of panic because they had everything set and greased for Biden, but I don't think they counted on Biden being a total dud. And so now I'm probably no more perplexed as to who it will be than they are. Likely is not, my opinion, likely is not, it will not be Bernie Sanders. Even if he is it, they'll fix it to where he can't be it. It will not be Kamala Harris, even though a lot of people think she's a good candidate. Plus, you'll notice she's got Hillary people helping her. She's got all the Hillary team helping her. So by all things, you would think she would be certainly high probability if Biden goes. But I happen to know in her professional life and her private life, she is going to be jumped on pretty soon and she'll want to crawl under the table. So I don't think it'll be her. Probably Warren, maybe. Maybe her.
It seems like Warren's getting a little more press time than anybody else right now.
Mm-hmm. You will know, all of y'all will know, you won't need me to tell you. We will know pretty soon who the Progressive Council has decided to go with. Right now, they're in the process of canvassing the top people, and they will be questioning and canvassing them to make sure that they're willing to, if the Progressive Council, which is the DNC of sort, they're trying to find out that if we back you and make you the candidate, how can we be sure that you will do exactly what we say, when we say it, how we say to do it? That's where they're at right now, and they're moving around and they're asking the different candidates.
In other words, will you be enough of a puppet that we can back you?
Yes. It's exactly what they're in fact doing. What else?
Who guards the former presidents and who is a witness to their conversations?
Now what?
Who guards the former presidents and is a witness to their conversations? The Secret Service?
The Secret Service.
So.
And the former president has, you don't hear about it much, but Obama has a chief of staff just like he did when he was president, I think for 11 years. We pay for him for 11 years. We pay for his living. He still gets paid, don't doubt that, but we, the taxpayers, pay for all of his Secret Service. We pay for all of his groceries. We pay for all of his gas if he had to use any, but most don't. They're chauffeured by the Secret Service. So literally for 11 years, the salary they get is just pure gravy. And we pay for it. And by the way, if the day comes when President Trump wins re-election and he follows through with his commitment to get rid of a lot, if not all, of the federal judges, you need to remember this. A president can demand their resignation, but they still get paid for the rest of their life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, even if they are tried and convicted of a felony, put in prison, which is an oddity, but even if they were put in prison, they would still receive their full pay and retirement benefits the rest of their lives.
Well, you're talking about the judges, right?
Mm-hmm. Federal judges. Federal judges. Once you get that appointment, you're fixed. You are fixed. What else you got?
Somebody's saying Obama was a CIA plant.
My opinion about that, I don't think so. I don't think Obama, if he were a CIA plant, then he would have been and would be, I suppose, working in the interest of our country. And he does not. He did not. He's the most un-American president we ever had. So I can't see him doing anything with any agency that would require him to do something for this country. Just don't see it. My opinion. What else you got?
Are there prosecutable crimes committed by front-running candidates?
Biden, yes. Sanders, his wife, not him. Warren, yes. Yes, Warren. She falsified a federal document. Now, here again, is that one of the offenses like the two guards in Epstein's death, right? I mean, they falsified their records up there saying they went and checked on him when they didn't. Well, Warren did the same thing. But what happens in cases like Elizabeth Warren and in the case of these two guards, the penalty and the action taken towards the penalty, towards the crime, is weighed based off the severity of the crime. So one thing she did, now remember I said forging federal documents, you immediately probably think I'm talking about her saying she was Indian to get in and get credit in law school. Well, that is one, but there's another, more than one. And so let's take the one to get into law school claiming she was part Indian and whatever benefit she got by doing that. That's a crime, just like the guys falsifying the records saying they checked on Epstein when they didn't. She will probably get nothing. There will be no prosecutor, especially now that she's in the running for the presidency. There will be no federal prosecutor that will go after her. They just won't. Now, in the case of the two guards, whoa, that's going to be different. Barr wants them. Barr knows they are the key to the true story of what happened to Epstein. So they face looking at 20 years. Although their crime was no different than Elizabeth Warren forging the fact, or faking the fact that she was Cherokee or whatever she said, or they forging a record saying they saw Epstein. They're the same crime. And you would think under law, since it's the same crime, they would both face the same thing. It's just not true. Not today. Not with our legal system. Not the rigged one we have. What else?
Somebody's giving opinions that Don Jr. will run in 2024. First female will be Ivanka.
I hope the first female president is not Ivanka. Now, Ivanka's his daughter, right?
Yes.
Okay, I get it confused. Ivanka or his wife or whatever. No, I hope she's not the first female president. Her social attitude is a lot different than ours, I guess is the way I would say it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with her. I'm not trying to be ugly. Not at all. She's a fine, wonderful lady, I'm sure. Do not know her. But on a couple of things that I have seen her position on, they differ quite a lot to mine, and I know to most of you. But again, see, this is the way a civil society should work. This is the way a campaign season should be. I don't agree with some of her positions on policy things, but I don't mix her private life and her. I don't mix that in. She's a fine lady as far as I'm concerned. What else?
Somebody's suggesting she's a globalist. Caroline, Larry has been saying for several days that Epstein is dead.
He is. If you knew who I talked to, you would know he's dead too.
Can a writ of mandamus be issued to force federal prosecutors to go after Warren?
Technically, a mandamus action could be used. It could. But I don't think the court would allow it in. I don't think a court could force a prosecutor to prioritize her crime. And since the court won't force the prosecutor to prioritize, a prosecutor can say, okay, yes, you did, and I'll get to it when I've got an opening. I've got more serious cases I have to deal with. But yes, a mandamus could be brought rid of mandamus. Could. I'm amazed that more people do not file writ of mandamuses against sitting congressmen and senators. Right now is the perfect time. Ask your congressman. It's got to be your congressman or your senator. It can't be somebody in another district. It's got to be yours. But just imagine asking your congressperson, how many days have you spent in chamber working on bills that pertain to this country versus how many days you're spending working on trying to get President Trump?
Now, how would somebody go about doing that?
You file it. You make out a complaint and you file it. A writ of mandamus, for those of you that don't know. Now, first off, they're not done a lot because it is complicated. It is rare, I assure you, it is rare that you get it all the way through the court and it works. But let's say you elect a guy to be your dog catcher in your town. And every day you see him and there are dogs running all over your neighborhood and all over the community. But you see him and he never picks up a dog. He's gone a whole year, hasn't picked up a dog. And they're running, you've got proof they're running throughout the community. You can go and file a writ of mandamus. And what a writ of mandamus basically is saying, Judge, he's not doing what he contracted with us to say he would do. And so therefore, the judge then is in a situation where he must force him to be fired or resign or other punitive damage of some sort. But that's what it is. If you've got a politician not doing the job that they promised to do, then you can take them to court. Now, where you'll get in trouble doing that is, for example, with your congressman. You go to your congressman and you go to court and say, Your Honor, this congressman hasn't spent in the past 6 months one day in the House chamber voting on legislation pertaining to America. What the congressman's attorneys will stand up and say, but Your Honor, the duties of a congressman are, far exceed that of just voting. So this congressman was doing other things. And that's why you'll have a tough time proving it, because they'll come up with stuff that he did, that he'll claim he did on behalf of you in his district, or you, the constituent. And the truth is, he probably didn't, but he'll come up with stuff. It can be done. I'm surprised it's not being done by more people today, especially. But I don't want to deceive you. It is a complicated case to file and work. I know because I did it. I've done it. What else you got, ma'am?
Where do you file?
Federal court.
In
the
your
federal court where you are. Huh?
Federal court in your own state?
Well, if you're going against a politician that is federal, like a congressman, you file it in the closest federal court to you. If you're going against a state official, then you would go to the state court and file it. What else?
Somebody's suggesting that Epstein's assets, and I think it means despite the will that was signed 2 days before he died, what happens to all his assets? He's suggesting that because of the executive order, December 21st, 2017, human trafficking and corruption, that money should belong to we the people.
Should go on to who?
We the people.
Oh, we the people. What most people are getting wrong, and I do know this, I think is a fact. I got to be careful, but put it down. I'll tell you what, put it as my opinion at this point. What I understand he did 2 days before his death is he changed his will. He did not make a will like has been reported. He changed his will. And what is significant about the way he changed his will, this will get you. He obviously knew that he was going to get out of prison. He was not going to serve any time, or not much. And he knew that the criminal cases against him were going to trigger a whole bunch of women coming forward claiming they had been molested. So he moved his money into this trust account, limiting what these women, what damage they could do to him in their civil cases. But the point is, if he was fixing to commit suicide, well, the day he did that, he wasn't planning on suicide. He planned he was just going to skate. And he would have. With his money, his black book with the names and the powerful people in it, yes, he was either going to be killed or he was going to skate. It happened that he was killed or died. What else you got?
What do you know about Danny Williams?
Danny Williams. You talking about the black kid that was supposedly Bill Clinton's?
Yes, sir.
He was not Bill Clinton's kid. Yes, he looked like him. Yes, Bill Clinton had a rendezvous or two with his mother. And yes, Larry Patterson, he went into her house or apartment and took a picture of Danny standing with Bill Clinton at some event. Yes. But he was not Bill Clinton's kid. Now, how do I know that? Anybody know how I know that? Can anybody guess?
I know.
Well,
It's in the book. It's in the book, folks.
yeah, he shoots blanks. He couldn't have babies. That's why Chelsea looked so much like Webb Hubble. She's Hubble's kid, not Bill's. Bill can't have children, which he was very proud of, as he told me and Patterson and Perry and all of us all the time. He was proud of that fact because he didn't have to be careful. Anybody else, Mary Ellen?
Did the Men in Black have anything to do with Epstein's death, and who are they?
The Men in Black, as I have told y'all, I believe I have two minds on Epstein's death. One, it's hard for me to believe, based off what we've heard so far, which is part of the problem, based off the summary given by the medical examiner. It's hard for me to believe he killed himself that way. I just don't believe it. Now, that's one mind. The other mind, which has to do with the Men in Black, it would be very hard. The scenario would be very complex to figure a way to kill that man in a federal prison. That man. Now, I'm not saying all men. I'm just saying him because of his profile. That would involving a lot of people to get it done. And that's not a good thing when you're putting together a scenario to whack somebody. You want to run a tight loop, what's called a tight loop. You want very, very few people involved. Certainly, even less that know about it. So, I don't know. I cannot tell you until I get a look-see or I hear somebody that I trust, like Cyril West or others that I trust, to actually look at the autopsy, all of it, then I can't say. I just can't. But a tight review of the actual autopsy, the complete autopsy, that'll tell us whether he killed himself or somebody killed him.
Okay, we have a question about the book. The name of the book is 28 Years to Nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get it from nicholslive.com. And if you're having trouble there, there's a text message, phone number for text messages under the donate button. You can text that number and I can help you get it. I did that last night with somebody, and hopefully she's going to be getting that book in the next few days. But we'd be happy to help you get that book. It's very, very interesting, even though I say so myself. But if you read the reviews that have been put on Goodreads and on the back of the book and the front of the book, people that read it before we published it, every one of them said that they couldn't put it down until they were done. So people were losing sleep because they just couldn't set it down. So go to nicholslive.com, click under merchandise, and you'll see the book there. Otherwise, text 240-499-6729, and I'll help you get that.
Now, let me say that I'm no author. Good Lord, I'm no author. Even
no, interesting storyteller.
But the final book, as it is done, is 1,000,000% due to Mary Ellen and her dedication to working on it and working with me. And that's why she is co-author, because in truth, she did as much writing the book as I did. But anyway, if you want to get it. It kind of gives you a quick look at where I came from and how I ended up where I am, which, as the book says in the title, is nowhere. Everybody that was involved with me fighting the Clintons either ended up dead or successful with some venture into, newsletters, etc., like Matt Drudge, Chris Ruddy. Everybody did but me. Alex Jones, everybody, except me. Ended up where it started, or worse, nowhere. The ironies of life. Any other question, Mary Ellen?
Well, I was just going to add, folks, Larry dictated, he dictated into a tape. I transcribed it and then I just made it readable. And the goal of my work was not to change and make it my book, but to make sure you heard Larry when you were reading. And we had a lot of people say that it sounded to them like when they were reading, it felt like he was sitting across the room or sitting across the table telling the story directly. So that's the part I played, is making sure that you could still hear that and yet be able to read it. And so it was a fun thing to do, and I look forward to doing it again with him.
By the way, there's one thing, one story. I don't know if it's even in the book, but there's one story I do want to tell you. When Clinton first started running for the presidency, two things happened. Number one, the day he announced, there was a big crowd in Little Rock, huge crowd. Well, what people didn't know was that anybody who worked for the state, you were given a half day off if you showed up at the thing, and it wouldn't count against you. Schools were let out, and they made it a deal where you had to go. As a school, you had to go. So it was all a fake crowd. But when they passed out their press release about Bill Clinton, a number of national reporters came to me and said they'd never seen it before. At the same time, Bill Clinton put out his press release about him, they passed out a press release about me with all the bogus stories that had been written about me in our feud here in Arkansas. So they smeared me the day he announced. Wasn't that something? Set a record that day. Only one that's ever had it happen. Then the next thing that happened, it was several months later, and the issue with the women was rising and rising, especially with what's her name coming out and so forth. There was a van with David Watkins. You don't know him, but he was a friend of Bill. He was the one that went with Bill and ran the White House, not as chief of staff, but he was the office manager. And then I caught him using Air Force One helicopter, taking him to play golf. And because of that, I got it to the media, and they ended up having to get rid of him. But David Watkins pulled up in my front yard in a white van and handed me a cashier's check and a manila folder for $1 million drawn on the Bank of Perryville.
The Bank of what?
Perryville. Bank of Perryville. Herbie Branson, his bank. Now, I could have had that day $1 million, had it in my hand. Matter of fact, Pastor Sanders, for some reason, I can't remember why, but he was here when that happened. All I had to do was sign a statement saying that all the things I said about Bill were lies. Lies. Now, if they'd have said, all you got to do is just shut up and go away, just don't talk anymore. To be honest with y'all, I don't know that I might not have taken it. But they expected me for that $1 million to go on television and say I lied about the things about Bill, and I couldn't do it. Handed it back to him. So when I say 28 years to nowhere, which is where I am, I don't mind telling you in 92 or 3, whenever it was, $1 million would have been a lot of money to us. We had nothing. It lost everything.
All right, we've got two questions. I'm going to answer one, and then you're going to answer the other. Annette says, how did we meet? I had been told by somebody never to watch Alex Jones. Well, that got my curiosity up because the person didn't say why, refused to say why, refused to say anything more. So, of course, I had to find him and find out why I wasn't supposed to watch him. Well, wouldn't you know, the day that I turned on Alex Jones, Larry was on that day. And Larry announced that he was starting his own radio show, internet radio show, June 1st, 2016. Well, I was captured by his storytelling ability and the information he knew. And so I have been a listener every single day ever since. When Larry wanted to write his book, he dictated and I transcribed and helped to edit. And when we had it done, our team that helped with the election in 2016, we had promised to give them an autographed copy of the book, and Larry had been sick and hadn't gotten the autographs done. And so I went to visit, and we sat one day and autographed books together, and that's how we met. And so I have spent one day with him and have listened to him every day. So the question for you, Larry, how are you doing and how are finances?
I'm better, much better. Thank you all. And as far as the finances, I am not begging, but you know, if somebody wants to help significantly, today is a good day to do it. But I'm not begging. It's just, folks, it's hard to stay afloat doing what Mary Ellen and I and several of you do when you devote yourselves to the country and you try to do right. I mean, I try to do right. Try to do the right thing. We don't have people with gazillions of dollars showering us with money like George Soros. But even if George Soros himself came and knocked on my front door, I would hope I have proven over time I'd tell him to leave. But I do need, this program needs help. So if there's anybody out there right now, without us begging, I'm not trying to drive anybody away. If anybody wants to help the program, help me, please give the Mary Ellen, give them the PayPal number thing.
We're gonna have wait till that stops.
Right.
Okay, Larry's PayPal is nicholslive@aol.com. That's his PayPal account.
Mary Ellen,
Live.
Mary,
Yep.
go on and talk to him. I've got to go on and go. That was
The hospital.
You know,
okay.
all right, bye, y'all. See you tomorrow.
The doctor. His PayPal is nicholslive@aol.com. That's his PayPal account, nicholslive@aol.com. His last name only, not his first name. If there's a link directly to his PayPal at the website, nicholslive.com. And there is, you can send cash in the mail. He has no way to cash a check. So you cannot send checks. You can send cash in the mail or do PayPal. Now, there's a text message there, 240-499-6729, or a phone number for text messages. If you need other alternatives, you don't want to send cash, you don't do PayPal, I can help walk you through doing other ways to donate. There is merchandise there, including the t-shirt. This necklace, this bar necklace says "No Socialists." That's available. I don't know if the necklace is available on the website, but if you go to the link, I think there is under merchandise, you can request it. There is a way to do that, or text me and I'll help you get that. It is sterling silver, and I put it on and I haven't taken it off, and I shower in it and it's staying shiny and pretty, other than what I'm doing in the way of sweating right now. And Josephine says the book is worth every dollar. So please get the book. And it gives, yes, thoroughly documented evidence and a list of those who died mysteriously. That is listed. He talks about different people that have really meant a lot to him through the years. Is Alex corrupt? Alex likes to do things in a way that will gather attention. And I think that's kind of how Larry has talked about it. Thank you, John, for helping. You know, there are a lot of people who can't do anything, and we certainly understand. We have a lot of people on fixed incomes. We have a lot of people with disabilities. We have veterans with disabilities. We've had veterans who barely make anything, and they have, one lives in Arkansas and has stopped by Larry's house, and you know, he's given him the change out of his car, out of his ashtray in the car. You know, that's where, no, he cannot cash a cashier's check, but that's where the text message 240-499-6729, I can work with you. I have had people who have mailed checks to me. They put Larry's name in the memo. I make a photocopy of it so that I have an account where I keep funds to pay Larry's phone bill. I take care of that myself. And so I have an account that through Bank of America that is pretty much dedicated at this point to helping pass funds through for Larry. So if funds come, say a check comes in the mail to me for Larry, I deposit it in the Bank of America account and then put it right into PayPal. By using the checking account, there's no service fee from PayPal. You know, if somebody has a significant amount of money that they can donate in a lump sum, we can work out a way to get that to Larry. Sometimes we've used Western Union, but we have to be careful about, you know, limits there. There was a way to, I can't remember, the last big donation went into, I don't remember if it came to me or if it went straight to the hospital. I can't remember. There is a way to work something out. If you have something significant, what happens with Larry is if we get at least $4,000, he's able to negotiate a discount on what he's getting. Now, with the treatment he had gotten in June and July, I think it was, yeah, it's made a huge difference. And they had anticipated that his medication cost would be dropped in half because they were going to be able to he was going to have to take less. And he ended up with a serious complication that wasn't related to the treatment for his lungs. And that's what he's been fighting this month. As you know, when we get these 100-degree temperatures with extremely high 90+% humidity, it is very, very hard on people who are elderly or have lung or heart issues. And so the heat in Oklahoma has been very oppressive. Now, I don't live in Oklahoma. I live 15 hours away from Larry, so I've only seen him once. I've seen him on video a couple times, in a, here with us, or, but like I get to hear him when he comes on and does the program. And when he was so sick in July, I was doing the program for him just to try and hold the space. So I'd suggest a couple of things. Hit the like button if you appreciate his being here. That does say something to YouTube about promoting it. He has used some natural remedies in the past. I don't know if he's using any right now. I know he gets high doses of vitamin C, and he had cancer at one point, as far as I know. That's in remission. And baking soda is supposed to be a really, really good treatment for that, to help keep the body alkaline. And so he's done those kinds of things. Investigator, contact me, 240-499-6729. Send a text message, give me your phone number, and I will call you back from my landline, because the cell phone doesn't work here very well. I live in a little village that only has one cell phone that's not close to me, and the brick in the house just blocks the signal from coming through. So, yes, I saw Larry in the Clinton Chronicles as well, and that's how I first heard of him. And I had seen him when he had come to DC once in a speaker's tour. He used to do quite a lot of speaking around the country with other speakers, and I had really wanted to go, but I wasn't able to. So the only contact I had with him was the Clinton Chronicles, and then when I saw him on Alex Jones saying he was starting his own show in 2016, then I jumped in. Now, so you guys know, he did a video that is no longer his address is in Conway, Arkansas. His address is 58 Kensington Drive, Conway, Arkansas, 72034. That's on nicholslive.com. It's under the, I think it's under the donate page. You can see his address, and you can send cash that way. He does have checks that people have sent, and I've asked him to please mail them to me, and I'll take care of getting them replaced, and we haven't been able to work that out. Deborah with Danny Hall, people wonder that if Bill really could be, something had happened. I don't think they look alike, but that's my opinion. So other people think they look a lot alike. Hillary never accepted him as any possible relative of Bill's, and they tried to make sure that he could not be part of the presidential family. So I'm not really sure about any more details on that, except that, Bill shoots blanks. And so Larry has been quite adamant the whole time, saying that he doesn't believe that Bill is his dad at all. Although I have heard that Bill did send gifts there for a while sometimes, until Hillary realized it, and I think put a stop to it. I think that's I guess I would have to say that's rumor, and so I don't know for sure. Larry's address for cash again is 58 Kensington, Kensington, Kensington Drive, Conway, Conway, Arkansas, 72034. Put the dollar donation on the chat. Yes, I know there's a way to do that. We looked into it, and it was going to cost us money to be able to do that. So Kenneth, if you know how to do it, please text me and help me figure that out. We would love to be able to do something like that, or at least I would. And I think there is a way to do it, but I think it costs money to be able to do that on a monthly basis. It's a monthly fee, and we have no funds to do anything extra. Believe me, if we had funds, there are so many besides Larry's health needs. There are other things that we could do to try and help do things. Kenneth, do that. Text me and I'll call you back and let's talk about how to do it. That's great. We are using right now StreamYard.com, which is why you say Streamer at Yard across the top. I forgot to put the banner across the bottom, live with Larry Nichols. I try to remember that. I don't always. Right now we're using StreamYard. We had been using Google Hangouts, and YouTube stopped allowing Google Hangouts. And if there are other ways that you think we could do this better, we'd love to. What Larry would really like to do is to have a way that people could actually dial a number and talk to Larry live and be able to ask questions. So I don't know how to ask Prepper Nurse Kenneth, so if you would investigate and contact me directly, that'd be awesome. So Larry would like to be able to talk to you live, not just with me reading questions from the text. That was the advantage of having the conference call, is we had direct interaction with him, and we couldn't get the numbers up, and we didn't have there was a way at one point to broadcast the recording of the call, to record it and broadcast it, and I don't know how to do that right now. Anyhow, Larry would love to have a way to interact live with folks, so he has expressed that desire. So he will be on tomorrow night with Pastor Ernie Sanders. To get to that, I'm going to type it in as I tell you. It's www.rwl.org, and then you click on 12:20 a.m. and WRWL stands for what's wrong, what's right. No, what's right, what's left. Sorry, what's right, what's left. WRWL. And then you scroll down and click on 12:20 and you can hear it. It comes on at 10 Eastern, which is 9 Central, 7 Pacific. I guess that's it for now. We'll be back tomorrow. We do have a conference call tonight at 9 Eastern, 8 Central. If anybody wants to discuss what they learned in watching mainstream media, MSNBC, CNN, when we were given that assignment to do that for 24 hours, I watched Rachel Maddow this morning until I was ready to tear my hair out, and I just couldn't stay on with it any longer. And I know Larry watches them about 5 minutes, and then he can't take it either. The lies that are being told and the way they say President Trump lies, I mean, to realize how blind people are is really shocking and painful to admit. So we will be back here tomorrow at this same time, and I'm going to set that up now for live tomorrow. So thanks for being here. Please share the videos, let other people hear about it, and we do need to grow the group. You know, Larry has made a promise that he will have a team of 40 to 50,000 people to help work with the election. So be talking about Never Socialism with your neighbors and friends now, while we still have a chance. So before they stop talking about socialism. Right now, the squad is making it obvious. Bernie's making it obvious. And this is the time to be talking about socialism. Thanks. Talk to you either tonight on the call or tomorrow. 10 a.m., 10 p.m. No, Larry is on with Pastor Sanders tomorrow night, 10 p.m., which is 9 p.m. Central, 7 Pacific. Thanks, guys. God bless you. Bye.